Even your emotion had an echo in so much space. When you out there without you, I was out of tune. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just know too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's get up and do this whole thing all over again. Let's get into it. Everybody knows that former President Donald Trump is in a bit of trouble, and I want to take this opportunity. And of course, I'm not gloating. I'm not here to try to make it sound like, we're dancing on a hill. I'm just here to explain what he has gotten himself into. And before I begin, just a couple of shout outs to those of you that take the time to spend some time with me. Joseph Shimba is watching us from Solihull, England. Thank you, Joseph. Watching from Zambezi. Thank you, Alec. Alex says, how are you? David Ngosa, thank you so much. Watching from Chingola. We appreciate every last one of you. Thank you for taking the time. Let's jump straight into this because I think this is worth talking about. Many of you know that former President Trump has gotten himself into quite a bit of a pickle. And let's take a few minutes to unravel that. Now, some of you may ask this question: why is Donald Trump, and it's scrolling there at the bottom, and this is a great thing about StreamYard. Let me take a moment to say I love this streaming service, StreamYard. It's a fantastic tool for live streaming. And of course, the words are scroll. It's like your CNN. It's like I'm a SML TV CNN. Why is Donald Trump in trouble? This is the short answer here. Let me throw it up there. I'm going to throw it up there. Hold on a second. Just there it is. Because he paid hush money to a woman named Stormy Daniels. He paid $130,000. Now, the question then is, what is hush money? The word hush comes from the sound shh. I know many of you know this, but for those of you that do not know, and guys, never take for granted that everybody knows this, because I know some of you are sitting there saying, well, we know what hush means anyway. You may know, but there are lots of people out there that do not know. I was having lunch today, and somebody said to me, what exactly does the word hush mean? And I'm saying that to prove to you, to make the point that not everybody knows what hush means. Hush comes from this action, the sound shh, meaning hush means keep quiet or don't say anything. So here it is. What happened was Donald Trump was having an affair with a lady by the name of Stormy Daniels. And when he decided to run for president, he knew that information could possibly impede or hinder him from becoming a viable presidential candidate. Let me explain. In America, in the United States, they take this sort of thing very seriously. In Africa, nobody cares. In Africa, a presidential candidate can have affairs with multiple women, and if it comes out in the newspaper, nobody's going to pay attention to that. Everybody's going to say, oh, really? Well, what kind of girls were they? Nobody would pay attention to that. But in America, apparently it's a thing because in that culture, they regard that sort of thing a dent of someone's character. In the American culture, it speaks of your character. And every presidential candidate, every politician, even though they all do it behind closed doors, I mean, everybody knows that they carry on and all types of stuff because they're human, they do this. But when it comes out in the public domain, American voters take that sort of thing very seriously. And so if that piece of information comes out that Donald Trump was having an affair with some woman, there are lots of American voters that make a decision purely based on that. Because they say to themselves, well, if that's the type of character he has, then that's not the type of president I want. I know it sounds hypocritical, but that's how it's done in that culture. So because Donald Trump decided to run for president and he knew that this information would come out and people knew that Stormy Daniels was having an active extramarital affair with Donald Trump, everybody knew that they would go after Stormy Daniels to get the scoop because many different companies and, different newspaper outlets were ready to pay Stormy Daniels lots of money for her to tell her story. So what Donald Trump did was that he sent his personal lawyer, Mr. Cohen, sent Cohen over to Stormy Daniels and said to Stormy, look, we've got $100,000 here for you, $130,000 for you. But here's the thing, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Here it is. So Stormy Daniels accepted the money and she signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Now, a non-disclosure simply means you and I agree that you won't say anything. It's normal. I mean, sometimes people that work for Apple Computer, for example, the Apple phone company, they sign non-disclosure agreements, because they don't want their secrets to be told to the world, They don't want their patents to be shared with the world. So you sign a non-disclosure agreement. The actors in certain films, you can't go on an interview and start talking about certain films that you are in the process of making. And so sometimes it's not uncommon for actors to sign non-disclosure agreements with studios because they want their intellectual property protected until the right time when the movie is released. So non-disclosure agreements are not a problem. That's fine. People do that all the time. It's not illegal. It's very legal to sign non-disclosure agreements. The only trouble is, in this case, the reason, and you may ask the question, well, why is Stormy Daniels in this case? Why was it wrong for Stormy Daniels to sign a non-disclosure agreement? Why? Or in the words of Donald Trump, why? Well, here's the reason right here. Because in this case, the hush money was used to cover up an affair that would influence an election. That in America is what is known as a campaign finance violation. Americans take this sort of thing very seriously. Sorry. I gotta switch this off. Americans take this sort of thing very seriously. Campaign finance reform, campaign financing in America is adhered to very, very strictly. You have to follow the rules. So in this case, because, and let me break this down for you again, because the hush money, the quiet money, the money that Donald Trump gave to his personal lawyer, Mr. Cohen. Mr. Cohen went to see Stormy Daniels with the big briefcase and said, Stormy, boom. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying he went there literally with a briefcase. I'm making a point. So he goes to Stormy Daniels with $130,000 and says to Stormy, Stormy, you need to sign here. If you accept this money, it means you cannot talk about your affair with Donald Trump. If CNN calls you, CBS, NBC, ABC, any of these networks, any of these affiliates, if they phone you asking you for an interview for you to divulge the intricate nuances of your relationship with Donald Trump, you will be in violation of this non-disclosure agreement. And non-disclosure agreements are legal documents. I mean, they hold up in court. So Stormy Daniels takes the $130,000. She signs the agreement. She says, I will not talk about the affair. All the newspaper outlets, all the television stations, CBS, NBC, CNN, ABC, they all phoned her. Hey, listen, we know you had an affair with Donald Trump. Could you give us a scoop? She couldn't talk. Why? Because she had signed the non-disclosure agreement. But this came out later that she had done this. She was just telling them that, no, I can't talk. I don't want to talk, And then later on, it came out that Cohen, Donald Trump's personal lawyer, had actually paid Stormy Daniels to keep quiet. That's where they messed up. That is called a campaign finance violation, and that's why Donald Trump is in trouble. It's a mess. It really is. Is he going to go to prison? Oh, I don't know. All right, a few of your comments, and then I'll close it here. David Ngosa says, no smoke without fire. Kuti Oliver says they're just scared of his comeback. Okay. Oh, I love this. This is cute. This is Joseph Chishimba says, should the PF, the NPF, the Notorious Patriotic Front, should they sign an NDA with the Kadas? I love that. I love it. Love it. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. God bless.